Eyjafjallajökull. Eyjafjallajökull. Eyjafjallajökull.
Welcome to Timesink, the weekly podcast to let you know what's worth sinking your time into. I'm your host, Sauce, and I'm joined by Mr. Hummer.
Laffernagel. Todd. Larfarfel Bart Garfy Fart.
I think that's just, that's just basically what happened today. This is what happens.
And Brad.
I don't have a fun word, made up word. Hi.
We got a great episode for you this week. This week, we're going to talk about Peanut Butter Falcon, Instant Family, Umbrella Academy Season 2, Destiny 2, and British comedy panel shows. And Brad's going to see how big our brains are while we try to pronounce Falcon. If Falcon.
Eyjafjallajökull.
It's usually a fart.
If Falcon.
Eyjafjallajökull.
So
Those Nordic people.
So stick around. We got a great episode. But before we get into all that, I wanted to ask you guys that are out there listening to the episode, hit us up on social media. We're on Twitter. It's at TimesinkPod. We're on Instagram, YouTube. Let us know what you guys are thinking. And if you're listening on Apple Podcasts, leave us a review. Unless it's a 1-star review, then don't do that because that would devastate me greatly.
Not cool.
Cut all that stuff.
So yeah, reach out to us. Let us know what you want us to review. Hit us up on Twitter, Instagram, all the social medias. All right. So this week, a couple of big things happened that I wanted to talk about. Or last week, we were off last week, but I wanted to ask you guys what you thought about Marvel Avengers coming out, but only Spider-Man being available on PS4. What do you guys think about that?
Are you surprised?
I guess, yeah. No?
I mean, you knew that Spider-Man being a PS4 exclusive first time around. What's to make it any different this time around? And from what I'm reading, it sounds like PlayStation or whoever is inside of there, they're spending big dollars on these exclusives that Microsoft just isn't willing to pay. And, we've talked about this plenty of times that the strategies of the two consoles are just completely different. Microsoft wants to have you pay $15 a month and play all the games that's available in their catalog. And Sony wants you to buy their system so you can play all the exclusive for $60 a pop.
You know who I've played a lot of video games as? Spider-Man. You know who I haven't played enough video games as? Iron Man, Hulk, Thor, Miss Marvel, Captain America, and everyone else that's going to be available. Keep your Spider-Mans. I love them a lot, but I'm ready for everything else that game is going to give us because it looks fire. Absolute fire.
Wow. I was not expecting that at all. I was expecting more outrage than I'm feeling.
Wild card, baby.
Now I have to decide if I want to play as Spider-Man in the game, which I do. I have to play on PlayStation by myself, or I have to decide between that and actually playing with my friends because my friends all play on Xbox. I'm torn. This is the biggest dilemma I've ever faced in my life.
Come to us. Come to us. You do not need the Spider-Mans. You do not need him.
Well, don't throw it out the window just yet, because I'm still waiting to see what the final iteration of the crossplay is going to be between Xbox and PC. Because if everything is available on PC, I'm actually going to go get a PS5 instead of an Xbox Series X.
Yeah, I mean, now that Halo Infinite is delayed until next year, what's the point of even buying an Xbox this year? That was the only game I was looking forward to.
I mean, it's not just the games. I mean, the Xbox Series X is appealing because of the biggest news, actually, in my opinion, is that I'm still going to say I'll see it. I'll believe it when I see it. But they're claiming to be able to be running games in 4K at 120 frames a second. That's why you're going to buy a Series X. You're buying it for the hardware.
TV, that'll be great.
Yeah.
But what game are you gonna play?
All your current ones. Who cares? It's just you're just upgrading.
No,
NBA 2K21.
Overwatch 2.
I won't replay any games. I refuse.
Refusal noted.
It'll be a good time to pull out the old Assassin's Creeds and just look at how much better they look on these new systems.
That is a really good point. Plus, with the xCloud, I just saw a really awesome controller for your phone. It's like a Xbox controller that slides open and it goes around your phone, since they're developing that streaming on your phone, and that actually looks really awesome. It's like, I'm looking forward to that.
In it.
In it.
I do think that's kind of bullshit, though. Like, I guess we can beat that bullshit out there, but like, seriously, if you're paying like $60 for a game and it's the same game, 2 different consoles, and one console gets a character and you don't, like,
right.
What is that though?
Well, that follows PlayStation trends. They've also been in contact with multiple third-party developers trying to nab up as many exclusives as they want. That's how they think they're going to keep their market, is by continually pushing out exclusivity.
I mean, what if they went up to Blizzard or whatever and just like Overwatch and said, "All right, we want exclusivity to Reinhardt." So everybody on PlayStation gets Reinhardt.
Activision would say yes, only if it was like, give me $2 billion.
Yeah, I'm sure that money bag makes a difference. It is bullshit though. Like, Spider-Man's the most popular superhero in history. It's like Spider-Man, Superman, and Batman, and they're not going to include him in half of the people playing.
It's all. What else does Sony have left, man? Like, that Spider-Man like is their money right now.
But it's not like an exclusive Spider-Man game. It's an open world game, a massive multiplayer game for
any
every
opportunity
console.
to say we get Spidey, they're gonna take Disney and Marvel to the floor with everything that has to do with Spider-Man. Same with everything. It's all they got left. That's why they had to continue making terrible Spider-Man movies, just so they could keep it.
They're ruining it. They're ruining it.
I mean, in all reality, PlayStation, I don't know the exact numbers, but if I'm not, it's over 2-1 that they outsell Xbox. I mean, it's a bigger platform by far. So the amount of money they're actually able or willing to pay for exclusives makes sense that they're going to have more, simply because they have more. So they're going to have more subscribers. Xbox has its following because the systems just work. And honestly, I don't even know this from first principles. I don't have a PlayStation, never have. I had a PlayStation 2 back in the day. That was the last PlayStation I had. But Xbox services were they're phenomenal from an online perspective. The first iteration of Xbox Live was awesome. And it's when you get Xbox, it's almost like it's like the Apple of the console world.
Yeah, I feel you. I'm probably going to have to get it on Xbox because I'm going to want to play with you guys, and because then I can play the free beta this weekend.
It's going to be so fun.
Oh my gosh. I'm actually reading not great reviews of it.
It's probably going to be not fun, but I'm going to have fun.
I'm reading it's kind of like broken like Destiny 2 was when it first came out, but I'll get more into that later. Put a pin in it. Sploop. Moving on. I wanted, since we're talking about Marvel, I wanted to ask you guys, it's been reported that Shia Labeouf is being eyed for an X-Men character in the MCU. So I was wondering who you guys would want to see Shia LaBeouf play.
Well, he was one of the
Wolverine.
One of the early names for Moon Knight. I remember because Kevin Feige talks about Moon Knight all the time. They want to get him in for sure. But what I read recently is he's being eyed for Iceman right now in the X-Men series. I think that sounds like a little bit of a waste, but they talked about taking pressure off of him, having to like be the A-lister in a movie and surrounding him or something like that. But he's held multiple leading roles. I feel like that's so unnecessary for him.
That's a weird choice to be Iceman.
I mean, I definitely see a bigger player than that if they're going to use him, I would think.
Shia LaBeouf just as an action character at this point, like, I'm over it. It's gone. You were in like the Transformer movies, and you were the kid who just kind of had to run away from everything.
You don't think he could take on the Indiana Jones mantle still? Like, I thought that
No.
was a good setup for him, even though the movie wasn't great.
No, definitely not.
No. Especially after I just saw him in what I'll get into later, which is Peanut Butter Falcon.
Oh yeah, well, I want to hear about that, but we'll get into that. Were you being serious? You want to see him as Wolverine, or was that a joke?
I don't know. I saw him with the beard and stuff. I think he would have a really good Wolverine beard.
I thought that too. And Wolverine's supposed to be a short little Canadian guy with a gruff misdemeanor, like Brad. Brad could be Wolverine.
I could be the laziest Wolverine you've ever seen.
With the ability to change his voice on the spot.
You know, I think he could be a good Gambit.
I've never heard him try to do a Cajun accent. I think Adam Sandler's Cajun accent fits perfectly, in my opinion.
Oh my god!
I mean, if you want to hear Shia Labeouf kind of do a Cajun accent, just actually seriously watch the Peanut Butter Falcon.
Depression.
Not necessarily Cajun, but he's close enough. They're based in North Carolina, so he definitely has to have that.
I think Leonardo DiCaprio
drawl.
as Gambit would be awesome.
Liposuction.
I think Leonardo as a pimp in any movie would be the greatest role in the world for him.
I think he's too up Scorsese's butt to take on a Marvel role.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Fuck Scorsese and hating Marvel movies.
Basically, we just need a couple of Scorsese movies to just completely bomb with Leo as the lead.
Oh, do you mean like that terrible Irishman movie that was on Netflix that takes up like 7 days of your life just for watching it?
I didn't even finish it, to be honest. It was terrible.
Who could?
I heard it was too long and I didn't even try.
See, somebody told you it was too long and you were like, "Hey, gewalt."
I watched the first 5 minutes and I was like, pass.
Yeah, that's where Scorsese's at right now. Pass.
Well, I kind of want to hear more about Peanut Butter Falcon. Let's jump right into what's hot and what's worth sinking your time into this week, Hummer. What's going on?
Dude, the Peanut Butter Falcon, surprisingly, was, I don't care what the critics say. I didn't read the reviews.
You're a critic.
I'm a critic, and I loved it. I thought it was good.
What's it about?
It's basically like a modern version of like a Tom Sawyer Huckleberry Finn. Like two unlikely characters come together and they go on this adventure. But essentially you have Shia LaBeouf as this kind of now an outcast of society. Not to get too deep into the plot, but just an overview. He's kind of an outcast of society after he lost his brother. And so now he decided to steal to eat and earn. He destroys some equipment from some bad guys who send him on a boat chase where he has to get out of town to escape these rednecks. And then on the other side of the story, there is this, and what this movie is kind of famous for is the lead character is played by Zach Gottsagen, and he is the first ever Down syndrome person to star as the lead character in any movie. And so he's this Down syndrome character. He's supposed to be 22 years old, but he has to live in a nursing home. So he's always trying to come up with these plans to escape. Well, finally he does. He escapes, but he ends up on the boat that Shia LaBeouf's character is driving away in, and they forge this unlikely friendship, and they basically make this journey to a wrestling camp, and along the way they're trying to, it's a crazy movie, right? The only thing that I think is wrong with it is it wasn't long enough. Like it was an hour and 37 minutes. It's a really short movie when you consider that it's kind of plays out like a comedy/drama. They could have probably added actually an extra 20-30 minutes to it and developed some more of these plot lines. Also, it has Dakota Johnson, who ever since she stopped playing in the 50 Shades of Grey, for some reason I'm just starting to find her more attractive. I don't know. She's like aging like a fine wine.
You're into that shit.
Yeah, man. God, that one scene, and yeah, I feel like a 50-year-old MILF reading the books right now.
Yeah, that reference flew over my head. I did not watch the movie. Should I?
Not. The 50 Shades of Grey movies?
I thought it was for the ladies.
Yeah, watch it with your wife, 100%.
Hmm.
No. There's no
Watch
thinking.
it with your left hand, 100%.
Yeah, no. Watch it with your wife. Guaranteed, you're getting laid afterwards.
You clearly don't know my wife.
Oh, it doesn't matter.
You clearly don't know the power of all 50 shades of gray. One of them is black.
Do I learn about all 50?
There are at least 50 to learn about. It's like an anti-rainbow thing.
So
But-
wait, what kind of genre is Peanut Butter Falcon?
It's kind of, I'd say it's more of a drama, but it comes into like, it's also like a comedy as well. If you want the official like short version of what it's about, Zach runs away. Zach is the Down syndrome person. Zach runs away from his care home to make his dream of becoming a wrestler come true. That's the short version. It's filled with some funny moments. It's also filled with some cool like the characters themselves are just cool. Like you see like Shia Labeouf's character Tyler is just, he's not really treating Zach as a Down syndrome person. He's treating him as a normal person. He's basically saying that when you treat the people with Down syndrome any different, you're in fact calling them retarded. Like they can put their own shirt on, all right? They can feed themselves. All right? They can do these things. You just got to let them do it. It might take them a little longer, but do it. But it's just surprising when you see the name between the two of them. I'd watch it. I would definitely. I'm not going to give it a 5. That's just impossible. But I'm definitely giving it a solid 3. Like it's worth some time when you get a minute. You know.
What did you watch it on?
It was available on Hulu, and I did not check any of the other platforms, which I'm normally pretty good about.
But Hulu for sure.
Hulu for sure.
Perfect.
But Shia LaBeouf, man, I didn't think this would be an episode about Shia LaBeouf.
So does he kill it in it, or?
I think he kills it. They all three of them pretty much kill it in terms of their performance. Like I said, they could have added 20 more minutes to the movie just to get some more development of the characters.
Interesting. What else? You said you checked out something else too?
So this was a dual movie back-to-back movie night with the wife on Saturday.
Wow!
I know.
Talk about
mind-blowing.
a stale relationship.
It's called COVID relationship goals here. The other one we watched was called Instant Family. Mark Wahlberg and Rose Byrne basically play a couple like one of those like movies, one of those shows you see on the Home Network or Bravo where they rehab homes. Like that's like the couple that they are portraying to be as one of these. Like they're so busy they forgot to have kids. Now they're in their late 30s and they just on a whim decide that they want to adopt kids. And they
big mistake.
Well, not only that, they adopt not one, not two, but 3 kids at the same time.
That sounds like LeBron's championships. Not 1, but 2, not 3.
I mean, it's a cute family movie. I was a little buzzed by the time we got to the end of it, so maybe it was funnier than what I thought it was. But it's that same kind of. It was a comedy drama. I think it leaned more towards comedy though than the drama aspect of it. Good overall flick. I'd still give it a 2.5. I'm not going to give it a full on 3 because it's not going to appeal to everybody. You know, 1, I think you have to have a family, and 2, you have to be wanting a family to really appreciate the comedy in it.
What if you have one and don't want one?
You'll probably like it because some of the people in there think they're stupid and crazy.
There's 8 million kids missing in the U.S. Yours could be them too.
What?
I'm just saying. Pedophiles are out there, bro.
Why do you always bring up that subject and then just follow it up with "I'm just saying"?
Because I'm just saying. I might even be Super Saiyan. Who knows?
Oh my god!
Super duper saying.
All right. So speaking of Brad being hilarious, I actually listened to his recommendation a week or so ago, and did check out "I Think You Should Leave," and oh my god, it was so good. It was so funny. Like not to.
I almost don't like how you immediately bagged on me for not saying how good it was.
You didn't.
I felt like I gave it a solid 4.
You didn't explain to me how hilarious it was. I don't too often just burst out loud laughing when I'm watching stuff by myself, but the whole time I was just dying. I keep showing it to like as many people as possible. It's weird, and it's definitely Brad and my sense of humor.
Very offbeat.
I think you'll like it too, Homer. It's so ridiculous and just zany, and I love it. So I definitely recommend that.
I think you should leave.
That's for sure, and it's so consumable because it's only like 6.
They're 17-minute episodes.
Yeah,
and it's so quick.
Yeah, you could watch the whole season like easily,
Before
quickly
you
one
fall
night.
asleep.
I could watch it tomorrow.
For sure. So definitely check that one out. I'm gonna give that I'm gonna give Brad's recommendation of a 4 out of 5 a 5 out of 5.
Tight.
Excellent.
And then I also got to Umbrella Academy season 2 came out. So do you guys know what Umbrella Academy is?
A university of umbrellas.
Exactly. So I went there, and now I know.
This is where they train the umbrellas to open up?
This is where they train the umbrellas.
I've got a master's degree in opening now.
Ooh, umbrelliology?
Yeah.
Ooh, explain this master's degree in opening.
Well, you see, there's a lot of factors that come into play because the day one you learn not to open them indoors, and then day 2 you graduate.
It sounds like 50 Shades of Grey.
And then
at least 12 shades.
Day 3 you just watch all 50 Shades of Grey. But yeah, so we live in a golden age of superhero TV show. We live in a golden age of TV, really, but there's a ton of Marvel ones, DC ones, off-brand ones you haven't heard of. Like some of the big ones out right now are Doom Patrol, Legion, Umbrella Academy, Runaways, although I've never checked that one out personally, plus all the Netflix
very
ones.
Average.
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. But anyway,
average.
Out of all of those, the top ones are The Boys.
Okay.
So The Boys, Umbrella Academy, and Doom Patrol are the best out of the bunch, but Umbrella Academy season 2, it's really hard to have a good season 1, and usually season 2 falls off, it kind of loses their way, or it's not as good as the first season. But the season 2 is even better. They really find their stride. It's a cast of great characters. The premise is there was a group of children born all on the same day with superpowers. You don't know how many were born that day, but 7 of them got adopted by this eccentric billionaire, and he raises them to be like a superhero team. And there's zaniness and time travel, and in the second season they end up in the 60s. And I thought one of the really interesting parts is one of the girls is she's black, so she's in the 60s and she's trapped in time, so she's just living her life there, and she joins the civil rights movement. And it's crazy because in the show they're in the 60s and they're peacefully protesting and getting beaten by the police and judged for wanting equal rights, and it's still happening today.
How current.
But like it wasn't made to, like when they were filming it, that wasn't like prevalent. So it's just really fucked up that that's still something that people of color in this country have to fight for equality. But anyway, this isn't the show's not about that. So the season 2 of Umbrella Academy is really, really good. If you like season 1, it's only gotten better because it's hitting its stride. It's on Netflix. Netflix keeps coming out with these amazing originals. So definitely check out season 1 and now season 2 of Umbrella Academy. Solid 4 out of 5. If you don't like superhero TV shows, then yeah, that's what it is.
Then get up on out of here.
The actors are so good though. It's hilarious. It's weird. I love it.
Cool.
So I was looking that up and saw that it's actually currently number 1 on Netflix top 10 list right now.
Wow.
Yes.
Do you know what's number 9?
What?
Dennis the Menace.
Oh my
Ooh, I met that kid.
I used to love that movie when I was a little kid.
I went to Cedar Point with that kid. He was in my like stepbrother's youth. He's a youth pastor, and he was in his youth pastor group out in Chicago. I think that's where they're from. But yeah, I met him once.
Was he a menace?
He was very normal.
Did he tie you up and make you eat a bunch of beans?
No, none of those things happened. He was pretty much a normal teenager.
All right,
And we
stop
never
ruining it.
once
Just
talked
don't ruin
about
it
him
for
being
us.
in Dennis the Menace
I'm
because
cutting
that
this.
seemed like a weird thing to do. Cut all this.
Yeah, you're ruining that. You're ruining it.
He needs to be way more menacing.
I think this was topping a little bit too. Another good one that I watched recently was Fear City. It's about the mob, the taking down of the mob in New York City in the 80s. That's another good one that if you like a good doc, good
Solid
time
doc.
cruncher. Doc DAC DAC
A surprise review.
surprise review.
Hummer with the low key surprise review.
Just throwing stuff out there.
Throwing the stuff out there. But I'm gonna watch. I'm definitely gonna check out. I think you should leave.
Yes, if you're gonna watch anything out of these things, I'm gonna recommend. I think you should leave. Should be because it's so you just
The thing
watch
we
it all real
recommended
quick.
Before.
Well, I think I'm gonna check out the Umbrella Academy too.
Yeah.
That actually looks good.
I'm backing
I mean,
Brad up.
Look at the Umbrella. You look at this like little like you scroll over and it's just a picture of what looks to be an atom bomb going off in the middle of an old western town. It looks awesome.
Yeah, it's
I'm
great.
in. Sold.
The other thing that I've been getting into in the last 2 weeks that I came back to is I've been looking for a game to play that, Overwatch is the best game ever, but sometimes you got to switch it up and play something different. And so I kept reading about how Destiny has been just completely different and changed so much since when it first came out a few years ago that I wanted to get back into it and check it out. And oh my God, it is a completely different game. So I played a lot of the first Destiny. I played the crap out of the first Destiny. And it was a really cool experience because it's a first-person shooter, but you're playing with fire teams of 3. And every now and then you can go on a raid with a fire team of 6. And the raids are what sets this game apart because it's such intricate puzzles. Like, it's not you going in and doing a mission that might take you 10 or 15 minutes with your friends. You're spending like 4 hours trying to figure out, like, this guy's got to do this while we shoot this boss, while this guy's back in time trying to figure out this puzzle so we can come join up together and all shoot at this thing. And it's insane, the intricacies of it. And they've just filled the game with more and more and more and more and more secrets, stuff to do, new enemies, new game modes. But out of all of that, all the new stuff, all the new DLC, which I've been playing the new missions. There's been, I don't know, there's been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 big expansions, and they're about to come out with a new one. They made the game free for everyone, but if you want to play some of the latest stuff, you have to buy the expansions, which is worth it. But they added a new game mode that's nothing like I played in any other game before, which is really cool, which I want to tell you guys about. It's called Gambit, and it's 2 teams of 4. Each team is fighting on like their own separate playing field, waves of enemies, and you're trying to kill enough waves to get to the boss. First person to beat their boss wins, but you can collect points on your side and dump them in a bank, and you can send bad guys, like strong bosses, over to the other team's side. But every now and then a portal can open up, or you can open up a portal to raid their side. So you can go and kill them. And if you kill them, it gives their final boss more health. So if you're trying to see who can kill the boss first, but you can screw the other team up, it's so much fun. I'm very glad I decided randomly one day to pick this game back up. I'm getting all the DLC. I'm getting back into the grind, which it is. But it's a lot of fun. It's for sure more fun with playing with other people if you got other friends that are playing. But that's what the internet's for. You can find groups online that, to find random people to play with. So if you liked the Destiny 1 and then you were let down by Destiny 2, Destiny 2's back. Destiny 2's fantastic. I'm loving it. It's free to play. So, I mean, what's better than free?
Where are you playing it on? What platform?
I'm playing it on Xbox. It's cross-platform now, so you can play on PC. I'm pretty sure it's going cross-platform. I forgot to look that up, but it either is now, or it's about to be. It's going to be free with xCloud. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, definitely check out Destiny.
Play.
It's
Alrighty.
Bungie.
Can we talk though about how Destiny started off with a big celebrity voiceover character that was so bad that they just had to completely scrap that after the game was released and everyone found out how bad it was.
Yeah, that is
That's
pretty
like my
insane.
biggest memory of Destiny at this point.
Peter
My question-
Dinklage, aka Tyrion Lannister, getting recast.
And love, but that voiceover was just so bad at the beginning of that game. That's like really my biggest memory from that game.
Did you purchase the expansion packs there?
Yes.
So what
So
you're saying is if I download this game, it's no longer free.
well, there's tons of missions. Okay,
The base game is free.
this is huge too because
Well, yeah,
if
but
you,
if I play with Sauce now, I got to download all the expansion packs, which means it's no longer free
Yes.
for me.
well, here's the thing, they're about to update the game. So again, with the biggest update to date in November, and all the, which is weird. So this is weird. The very first campaign that you play when you bought Destiny 2 when it was brand new, that's disappearing. Like you won't be able to play that anymore. It's getting vaulted. So there's 3 of the main campaign and the next 2 DLCs right now are called legacy missions, which you can get them. But after November, they're gone. So now's the time to get in, play those missions before you can't ever again. But that's all free. After you do all those, though, you can buy the Forsaken DLC and then the Shadowkeep DLC, and then they're about to get into the Season of Arrivals, and it's a lot of fun, man. It's a Bungie shooter. Bungie made Halo. They brought their shooting skills. It's all about finding new guns, upgrading, and the guns are so different now and fun. It's not just a shotgun, a sniper, and a pistol. It's all kinds of weird, wacky shit. Definitely recommend it.
Well, it's downloading.
And from what we got on the
Nice.
Xbox showcase when they talked about Destiny, it seems like Bungie and Microsoft have repaired some wounds that seemingly were there when they kind of split off from each other. So just from the little tidbits we got at the Xbox Game Showcase, it seems like they're kind of on good terms now, which is good for everybody. You know, nobody wants a big studio like Bungie to be on the outs with whatever, any platform, really, you know.
Sure. Yeah, for sure. And
I mean, without Bungie, honestly, where would Xbox even be? Like,
yeah,
Halo,
exactly.
Halo was the game that, like, that's the reason why Xbox kind of blew up in the
But
first
they
place.
stole Halo from Bungie, is what I'm saying.
Well, yeah,
they
no,
did.
I'm just saying, like, it's the saltiness of that whole relationship.
And they don't even have Halo coming out this year with the new Xbox. Bullshit. But Destiny is one of those rare games that it's perfect to be played with 3 people. So Apex Legends, 3 people. Destiny, 3 people.
Anthem, nobody plays that.
Zero
that.
people.
I was so sad. It looked so good. I fell for
Wait,
it.
oh no, that's BioWare.
It is BioWare. I fell so hard because I love BioWare.
Yeah, so Destiny 2, 4 out of 5. So what did you check out, Brad? What do you got for us?
Yeah, so I definitely wanted to take this episode to talk about not something that I've been watching that's hot, but something that I've been watching for the last maybe year and a half, 2 years, that I spend a lot of my time watching. And I can actually trace it back to when I first started watching it. It was from one clip that I'm pretty sure you'll remember, Sauce, because it was a comedian who I now know goes by the name Mr. Swallow, who you need to look into more, actually, Sauce, because he does lots of sleight of hand magic
Ooh.
and card tricks with his comedy. So you need to look him up more. But I would use another keyword other than just Mr. Swallow if I were you. But
yeah.
so the first clip I saw from this content, which comes from us across the pond, was of a comedian putting lyrics to an orchestration from one of your favorite orchestrations from a movie, Sauce, of Jurassic Park.
Ooh.
Do you remember that? Do you remember this clip of that comedian?
Mm,
No?
No.
Well, he put lyrics to the theme song for Jurassic Park, and that's what I tell everyone they should go start with, and then binge into all this YouTube content you can get from these shows. And what these shows are comedian panel shows, basically. Now, we've seen a few of them in America. I think mostly they deal with celebrity gossip. So you think of like when Chelsea Handler had her show. I think what's his name? They do some on Comedy Central every now and again, but it's all celebrity gossip. the British do such a better job of making these like game show formats and like really good formats to showcase a lot of their stand-up comedians. So literally there's tons of these shows that you can find on YouTube. There's Would I Lie to You? There's the Big Fat Quiz. There's the three that I definitely want to kind of get into that I watch a lot. The first one being 8 out of 10 Cats Does Countdown. Countdown is this like daytime game show that they play, but then they just do a comedian version of it, and they're not nearly as good at the game show side of it, but it provides a lot of time to do really good comedic bits, like the Jurassic Park thing that I just told you about.
Is that
plus,
from that show?
Yeah, so that's a bit from that show. He's in like Dictionary Corner, they call it, and they get between each one of the games, they get to do like one of their stand-up bits, and that's one of his big bits. That's really successful for him as a comedian, where he's like doing the lyrics to Jurassic Park. He's like, "It's Jurassic Park, what a massive park. What could possibly go wrong?" It's just absolutely hysterical. It starts out, he's like, "Oh no, what's that?" It's like, dude, it's so good.
I was trying not to laugh so hard.
Dude, that is just literally this stepping off point of some of this great content that I occasionally show people. And there is so much of it on YouTube. There's full episodes from like at least 18 seasons worth. There's tons of clips. Their YouTube teams are awesome, and you see tons of clips from tons of these shows. But 8 out of 10 Cats Does Countdown, which, you know, if you watched the IT Crowd, you might know Countdown because there's one really great episode where Moss is on Countdown, and it has to do with the numbers games and stuff. Very funny episode. But another one that's really big over there is called Taskmaster. Now, there are some downsides to this show right now. The CW recently picked it up, the British version.
Uh-oh.
They premiered the first episode
Womp
and
womp.
canceled it right away.
Ouch.
Like, it didn't even last to the second episode. There is also an Americanized version currently on Comedy Central. I have not watched it, and I'm going to assume it's not great because they rarely are. But in the UK, you can watch up to series 7, which the YouTube full seasons, full episodes, up to series 7, which they're on series 10 right now in the UK. But you can watch they're in series 7 every Thursday. A whole new episode comes out, full episode, absolutely free. And it's what they do is they get comedians and they give them very vague instructions on how to complete a task, and they have to attempt to complete that task within the very vaguely defined instructions. It's absolutely hysterical to just watch people who are known for being entertaining in general try to accomplish that stuff. It's very good. It's hosted by Greg Davis, who is this British comedian who used to be a teacher. Jack Whitehall did a series of his. He's had a couple of things on Netflix, and a show called Cuckoo, I think that was on Netflix. Big funny, he's really funny. And then Alex Horn as well. But the one I really want to talk to you guys about, and it is one of my favorite shows right now. It's called QI. So QI started at series A. It's a quiz show. They're currently at series R. So can either of you tell me how many seasons they've had? If we started at A and now we're at R.
19.
I'm not that smart.
Ooh, that's really close. It's 18. So they're on their 18th season.
Forgot about Z.
Oh, shoot. One letter off. But so the show was originally hosted by Stephen Fry. Do you guys know Stephen Fry?
Yeah, he's from Lord of the Rings.
Yeah. He's
in The Hobbit.
He was in The Hobbit. He did play the Master of Lake Town in The Hobbit. He's also the narrator in Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. You hear his voice and you know who he is immediately. He's just not a huge American name, but he's very intelligent. He's very well known over there. He came up with with Hugh Laurie and stuff. Like they were like they lived together as young comedians and actors and stuff.
I didn't know
so
that.
like they're really good friends. But so QI is now hosted by Sandy I can't pronounce her last name because it's super Dutch. Torsvig. She took over in 2016. And I also think she hosts the Great British Baking Show, which is probably the most popular show over in England, which, that's whatever. But
And
then they rotate
with my wife.
Yeah, then they rotate all these other really great British comedians. And seriously, these comedians are people I think everyone needs to start checking out. They're constantly getting Netflix specials like James A. Caster and Cat. Oh man, I'm blanking on names. Russell Howard, Jimmy Carr. A lot of these names are getting big Netflix specials up right now. So these are really great comedians to get hip to. But so QI is kind of offbeat, very very deep knowledge quiz show, lots of history and science, and it's just so cool to be presented all this factual information, and then have comedians and entertaining personalities be able to like riff off of not knowing them and getting things wrong and occasionally getting things right. They have this really great system where they try to predict what people will say, especially in general knowledge where most people think the answer is wrong. They have this buzzer that goes off called the klaxon, and it's very entertaining. So what I've done here, guys, is I actually stole some of their content. And I was going to quiz you guys on. Now, I could go, it's literally hours and hours of content, so I just kind of pulled 3 randomly. So I figured we could go over these and see whether or not you're smart enough to know the answers, or at least generally as entertaining as some British comedians. You guys cool with that?
I can't live up to their British comedy standards. They came up with The Office.
Yeah, it is those people. So like, good luck. But here's
the American Office is so much better.
I know, right? We'll crush it. This is America. We'll do it better.
America, we're gonna.
Just like the Revolutionary War, right. We crush it.
You guys ready?
And coronavirus numbers.
Yeah,
we're the best, the greatest.
Okay, so what conclusion did the great biologist Stephen Jay Gould draw from a lifetime study of fish?
Oh, there's no multiple choice?
No, this is a real quiz. This is not America.
B.
B. The answer is not B. Wah, wah. That'd be my klaxon if I had one.
I would say that Stephen Jay Gould.
He's a Nobel Prize winner.
That goldfish die the minute you put them in a bowl.
That's a discovery any person who's ever had a goldfish has probably made. So actually what Stephen Jay Gould discovered is that fish has no biological meaning. I mean, the life in the ocean is so biologically different from each other. Like, for example, a salmon has more biological markers related to a camel than it does to a hagfish, but both of them are called fish. So, is a starfish a fish, a jellyfish a fish, a crayfish, is that a fish? So really what he discovered is that there is no such thing as fish, and that people who think that are foolish. How do you feel about that?
I feel like he wasted his life just to come to that conclusion.
There was a guy who tried to decide that 1 + 1 didn't equal 2. He spent his whole life doing that. So do you feel the same about that?
I just want to point out, I googled Stephen Jay Gould fish study, and the third thing down is on the Wikipedia page saying no such thing as a fish.
Yeah.
Here's what it is, though. No such thing as a fish is a weekly British podcast series.
Of course.
Well, you'll have that. All right, so I got another one.
So wait. He won a
700,000 subscribers.
He won a Nobel Peace. He won not a Peace Prize.
He won a Nobel Peace Prize for starting a podcast.
We're on our way, boys. We're on our way. So all right. So here's another one that I got. This one's good. So what way is a recent Icelandic volcanic eruption similar to Genghis Khan?
In what way is an Icelandic volcanic
eruption similar to Genghis Khan?
Is it the amount that it covered the continent?
Ooh, that's a good answer, but no, but it's kind of that's kind of in there, I would say.
Most of Genghis Khan's destruction was in Northern Europe, just like the Icelandic volcanoes.
I mean, definitely the Asian continent probably saw it more, but a lot into Europe, that's for sure.
Reykjavik.
So
I just wanted to say Reykjavik.
I mean, yeah, you got to whenever you can.
Rochambeau.
So
Eurovision.
What's really crazy about both these things is when this volcano spewed somewhere between 150 and 3,000 tons of carbon.
That's how much that Genghis Khan spewed into the different women.
That's exactly how much he spewed into different women. No, that's not the answer. But it made it so nobody could fly. No airplanes could be in the sky. That's how much carbon was emitted and how much the volcanic eruption affected the world. But there was an offset by saving 3 million tons of carbon because no planes were able to fly during that eruption.
Hey, karma.
So Genghis Khan, he murdered his way across the world, right? He killed about 40 million people. His empire was larger than Alexander the Great or the Roman Empire. But in killing 40 million people in mostly farmland areas, people weren't able to farm the land. So forests grew back and wildlife came back. So both Genghis Khan and this Icelandic volcano had a positive global effect.
Did we just figure out the clue to global warming? Mass genocide?
Well, our current pandemic is not quite killing people on the rate Genghis Khan did. So, which would be devastating if it was.
Those are rookie numbers. You got to pump those numbers up.
Rookie numbers, COVID.
Come on, Trump. We can do better.
So, okay. I also have one challenge for you. I want to see if this is going to work. I wrote down the name of the volcano. I'm going to try to show it in my camera here and see if you guys can pronounce it. You ready?
Oh, wait. Don't even show it. I know it. I know what it is.
You can share
it. Are you looking at it right now?
No, I just remember.
You probably can't see it because it's backwards.
I know this.
Oh, okay. See, I worked on it for like 4 hours the other day, and I still can't pronounce it.
Oh man, I know it.
It's Eyjafjallajökull with an umlaut, Kull. It's like Eyjafjallajökull. It's ridiculous. Like so I can try to.
I have the pronunciation.
Try to pronounce. Yeah, I got a pronunciation of it.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Eyjafjallajökull. That is. The Icelandic language is just absolutely ridiculous. Nobody should put that many consonants next to each other with all the yals and yalas and yalas. It's ridiculous. All right, so I got one more, guys. Let's do one more. So what?
Hold on.
Yep. Are you looking for it? Are you bringing it up?
Eyjafjallajökull.
Oh, there it is.
Eyjafjallajökull.
Yikes.
Even slower is hilarious.
Eyjafjallajökull.
It sounds
Where
like
is there a T at the end of that word?
It sounds like a drunk Norwegian is hitting on someone at the bar.
It literally could mean anything, and I would believe you because that is a ridiculous word.
Yeah.
I loved when he was going, pizza. Pizza.
Do it. I didn't hear that one.
Pizza. That's a pretty fun. It was Icelandic pizza.
Icelandic pizza?
Iceland pizza pronunciation.
They don't say just pizza?
Pizza.
Pizza.
Oh, wow. How exotic.
Pizza. Me so hungry. Okay, so you guys ready for this last question I got?
Yeah. Do you got more or just that one?
This is the last one.
Pizza.
Stop telling us how to pronounce pizza. We know.
Well, wait, how do you do it in Italian, though?
Oh, a pizza pie.
Pizza.
That was not Italian. That was an Italian robot.
Pizza.
I think this one says Icelandic.
Do Romanian.
Oh,
It's just gonna be pizza. It's just gonna be pizza.
It's just pizza. It's always pizza.
It doesn't change because of the
Oh.
language. Oh shoot!
pizza.
No, it's still pizza.
It's
Still
pizza.
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 This has to stop.
Wait, do Azerbaijani.
Azerbaijan?
Do Azerbaijani.
Pizza.
Afrikaans.
All right.
Wait, what's your last question, Brad?
All right, so the final question for all the collective points that I've not been keeping track of. What is the collective noun for a group of baboons called?
Don't cheat, Hummer.
Yeah, don't cheat, Hummer. We're watching because you put out your screen.
Can we have a hint?
A hint would be American politics.
Donald Trump's.
That would be just as great as the real answer, probably. so a group of baboons is called a congress. If early biologists didn't understand what our political atmosphere was going to be like now, I thought they made a hilarious joke. Whenever
It's funny
they came
you
up
say
with
that because it's like, no, okay, yeah, you're
That's
like, dang
deep.
it. I've heard that before.
Yeah. So what's actually really funny about that though is that there's a new term that's been popularized for a group of baboons, and it doesn't come from any biologist whatsoever. It actually comes from a British sketch show called Not the 9 O'Clock News, and it was a skit called Gerald the Gorilla that Rowan Atkinson did. And when he didn't know what to call a group of baboons, he called them a flange, which is just a word he came up with on the spot, a flange. And now it is one of the more popular terms used to describe a group of baboons. So that's just an awesome way that comedians can affect everything in the world because we're amazing. Like that.
PETA must have missed out on a huge get right here because they could have been like Congress of Monkeys in lab get Congress support for Christmas.
Hey,
Oh, that would have Leslie Knope style title.
that's exactly what I was just gonna say. Damn it, Brad.
But yeah, so QI, guys, is the one that I really want to make sure. It's a 5 out of 5. Everyone should watch this content. It's so cool to learn all this awesome information that they throw at you. There's so much content on YouTube. It's all free. The people who do their clips do such a good job. Like, you can get lost for hours on their page of stuff from their all 18 seasons. And then the other stuff that you can get into, especially 8 out of 10 Cats Does Countdown, has so much good content to just laugh at and kind of casually watch. I think it is one of the best ways to waste your time right now. Just hop on YouTube and dive into this content. Like there are other ones that I didn't really talk about as much. Would I Lie to You is one that has a lot of content, which is just comedians making up lies on the spots while getting interrogated by other comedians. There's so much good content. Everybody should get hip to this content because we even see tons of clips on Facebook and on Instagram and stuff that where people are posting and you get on Facebook Watch. Some of this stuff goes viral occasionally just as single bits. So I really tell everyone that they should be watching this content. Some of my favorite comedians right now are all coming from the UK. James Acaster especially is somebody that I think is just absolutely hysterical, and everyone should get on board.
So how did you get into all that? How did you discover this?
I told you that Mr. Swallow clip was the
it?
first thing that I saw was the Jurassic Park theme song with lyrics. It's Jurassic Park, what a massive park. It's so funny. And there's another one that this comedian does, Joe Wilkinson. He wrote a poem about naming people's penises in a bus stop, and it's absolutely hysterical. Like, I can't. You should just get on YouTube and start watching.
All right, so that's what we think's worth sinking your time into this week. Hit us up on the social medias if you want to throw some suggestions our way, or just to talk about Mr. Swallow with Brad. Check us out on your favorite podcasting services, and we'll see you next week. All right. Leave that screen up. All right.
What
ready?
is that?
Here we go.
What
I'm
is
gonna do
that word? That's got to be
Boy.
Welsh.
Hold on. This
Laffernagel.
that was
Top.
easy.
Larfarfel Bart Garfy Fart. Laffernagel. Todd. Larfarfel Bart Garfy Fart.
Oh my god! This needs to be in the intro to the podcast. When you ask me what's going on, this is what I'm putting up.
For sure. Yeah, that'll be it.
What even is that?